Hello trainers and welcome to Unite Tonight. I'm Kanashii, a caster, content creator, and guy who waited 3 extra days to get the pre-order plushie for Legends Arceus. And I've gotta say, worth it. Anyways, today we are going to be talking about baby Pokemon, answering the question, what if this Pokemon, but small, and more importantly, why they are not in Pokemon Unite. First, we should start out with where do baby Pokemon come from? And honestly, you should ask your parents about this one. You shouldn't ask a guy on the internet who looks halfway decent in a bow tie, who's also been single longer than broadcast through the entirety of Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. But anyways, baby Pokemon was a mechanic that was introduced in the Johto region as kind of a new way to get people to play a different game. The same way how Hoenn introduced abilities, Alola introduced regional variants, and Galar introduced whoa, way too big. So why hasn't there been baby Pokemon in Unite? Although there are countless examples of people who want to have the baby evolutions in Unite, we'll be taking it from the perspective of Timmy Studios and how the appearance, the gameplay, and the timeline would be changed for Pokemon Unite altogether if baby Pokemon were implemented. So let's start off at where I started off. Let's begin with the in-game appearances, meaning the icons and the models for the Pokemon. With pre-evolutions, Timmy Studios would need to create models for the existing Pokemon that have baby evolutions. So from the ones that we are currently missing at the moment, we would need Blissey, Lucario, Mr. Mime, Pikachu, Snorlax, and Wigglytuff. So that just creates a lot of extra models. This seems like a simple addition, just make the model, just put it in the game, add a couple other icons, boom, baby Pokemon implemented. Easy, done, show's over, we're done. The only problem here is Mime Jr. Whether you like to admit it or not, Mr. Mime has legs. And although he looks like an atom model made of chewing gum and toothpicks, you have to acknowledge that they exist. It is unfortunate, yes. But the thing is, those animations aren't going to translate one-to-one. Mr. Mime has full arms and legs. Mime Jr. has little, nublets. Those things aren't going to work. So it will be taking a little bit of time to figure out how are we going to animate this and translate that over one-to-one. So far we've only talked about cosmetic changes, things that just change the appearance, not necessarily affecting gameplay, but let's dive into that. So this is how baby Pokemon are going to affect the gameplay portion of it. So right now, a lot of people are saying baby Pokemon should be for, the current Pokemon that have one stage, which would be, in order, Lucario, Mr. Mime, Pikachu, and Snorlax. So those Pokemon would be the ones that are mainly affected. But also on top of that, it affects Blissey and Wigglytuff, turning them into 3-stage evolutions as well. For me, I feel like this is just going to push back the timeline for the effectiveness of a lot of these Pokemon. And I know a lot of you guys are just saying, just implement it at the same time that they get their second move, or just figure out a good time when they evolve. Honestly, this is the thing that caused a lot of the early Pokemon to have issues with pick rate. If you saw the way how Garchomp, Gardevoir, and Mamoswine were picked, they evolved when they turned into their second evolution and, got their Unite move as well. It just feels really late. And if anything, Pokemon Unite is a game of timing and resources. You're limited on the resource of time and limited on the number of resources in game, which is Eos energy. Our 10-minute game, probably 5 minutes of that is going to be taken up to just farming and playing it safe. Compared to currently right now, some Pokemon can just be effective right out the gate. And that's honestly something that keeps the game a little bit more fresh, and definitely something that's kind of fun to look at. It changes the way how you approach that Pokemon in lane. Now that we have finished talking about gameplay, let's talk about how this is going to affect the overall timeline of Pokemon Unite. Now, a lot of people are just thinking, this is probably just going to be an easy, get in, get out thing. But honestly, this requires a lot of time, resourcing, and planning in order to really implement. And, this could be things that could have been spent towards creating a new Pokemon into the game, adding new held items and active items, or giving me a reason to use the fashion tickets. I don't know what to do with these. I have too many, and I wish I could use them. But honestly, it just takes so much time and resources for them to implement something like Baby Pokemon into the game. And that's only the surface level things that I've mentioned. There's probably a billion of other things that they still have to code in, from how abilities interact to how Hollowware has to change for some Pokemon, as well as a whole bunch of other things that me, as just a regular fan of the game, can't quite understand. And that is totally fine. The only thing that Baby Pokemon will give us is a cute form to just let everybody in game know how underleveled you are when you rotate over to Dreadnought. That's all it's gonna do. Honestly, sure, you get to see your little baby Pokemon in game, but at the cost of you getting flamed for only being level 4. So now that we've tackled all of the gameplay and technical aspects from the developer side of Timmy Studios, the final question is actually for the Pokemon Unite players in general. This is not a question that has to do with the way how we play the game, but rather a question of the heart, a true question. It's a question about morality. Baby Pokemon are merely just young Pokemon, learning to experience life for the first time outside of the little shell that they have been encapsulated in. Just like me finally going outside after a year and a half of quarantine. It's not pretty, but in real sense, you're just okay letting a toddler waddle down the lane, watching them waddle, take their first steps into the lane, only to get sliced in half or completely destroyed by an Absol or Zeraora. Are you guys okay with this? Do you feel good about that? Are you just okay with just letting a poor little Pichu just get completely sliced in half? If you're okay with that, I don't think we should associate, but apparently these people think it's a good idea, and I cannot get on board. That is just a very simple thing. So, is it possible for Pokemon Unite to implement Baby Pokemon? Yes. Is it going to be a lot of work for Timmy Studios moving forward and might push back the timeline for newer releases? Yes. Are we okay as trainers with letting Baby Pokemon battle in this kind of scenario? That is for you to decide. But for me personally, I believe that Baby Pokemon are best left in the daycare. And that includes the 2 speedsters in my Masters game who are constantly fighting over mid. I'm not joking. Unfortunately, this brings me to the final point of my video. I kind of made this video out of a little bit of a selfish reason. If you guys don't know, I have a video series on this channel called Poke Concepts where I talk about what Pokemon I would like to see implemented into Pokemon Unite. And one of them that I actually flushed out a full script for prior to writing this one was one for Togekiss. And Togekiss is a really cool Pokemon. It is a top tier Pokemon, has a very wide moveset, and has a lot of really interesting abilities that it could play with. But unfortunately, the most iconic part of the Togekiss line is Togepi. And Togepi, unfortunately, is a baby Pokemon. And I'm a huge fan of Togepi. I like the adorable egg with legs, okay? But when it comes to the brutal battlefield we call Pokemon Unite, I would more rather scramble like an egg than get folded like an omelet. Thank you everybody for watching. That's what I've got to say. Good luck on your games, and I hope to see you next week with another full Poke Concepts video. Take care.